Thank you again. My name is Dominique Gamble. I am um, program manager under the Bureau of Economic Development for our Small Business Initiative program, which is actually our program is titled the Cook County Small Business Source. I will just briefly talk to you about our program, and then once I'm done, I'm going to pass it over to Miss Abby Scanlon of WBDC, who is going to go more in depth about the actual 2023 Source Grant program that we have open right now for you. So the Cook County Small Business Source was developed in 2020 to assist businesses during COVID. We work on trying to provide a one-stop experience for our small businesses. We do that through a number of opportunities. As you can see here in our slide, we provide one-on-one business advising, as well as a slew of resources that are available to our small businesses by way of our host of what we call business service organizations, which are our program partners that are set up throughout Cook County. This is just a list right now. We have some updated ones, but here's a list of some of our small business organizations that we work with, who you yourselves can actually tap into whenever throughout the year for any resources that you may need for your small business. And then we do also offer in-person as well as virtual events. Those events could be anything from marketing events. I know we do tax assistance. How to do social media, how to scale up your business, pretty much anything that a small business will need from start to fruition of trying to take your business to the next level is what we are looking to offer you. Just a little bit about our impact to date of the Small Business Source. Again, we have been working since 2020, it's now 2023, and we have reached over 48,000 businesses. What a reach means is we have directly touched as well by way of phone banking, door-to-door knocking, social media, as well as newsletters and e-blasts. We have reached over 48,000 small business owners. We've actually worked with, which will be our organizations that we're partnered with, they have actually touched and reached 13,000 small businesses have been supported through the Cook County Small Business Source. So that would be one-on-one advising opportunities. Those are in-person events they're reaching as well. And to date, we have 17 million in grants that have been distributed by way of the source, but that number will go up because as I stated, Abby will talk to you all shortly about a grant that we're offering for $40 million within the next week before it closed. 75% of those businesses owned are of people of color. 58% of those businesses are owned by women, and 95% of those businesses are what we call micro businesses who have 10 or less. We boost that number up. It's been 10 or less employees. What we would like to add on this slide here is our veteran-owned businesses, which again, Abby will talk about, which is something that we're offering in our grant. We did put aside a portion of money within that grant, which is directed straight for our veteran-owned businesses. So what we need for you all to do is when you are, whoever's looking to apply to try to receive the grant, please make sure that you notate that you are a veteran-owned business. When you are working, if you are to reach out with any of our and work with any of our BSOs, please let them know that you are a veteran-owned business. So I'm saying that because it's not that a lot of businesses are not, they might not be veteran-owned. It's just we don't think in that manner to state that we are a veteran. And so we don't really have the right numbers to articulate how many veterans that we work with, but you all are part of the community that we really would like to reach. So like I said, please help us out and let us know that you're here and that we are assisting you the best way possible because we're here for you. This is just a list of the many 50 business support organizations that we work with. The ones at the top are our business service organizations. So I'm gonna let you all, if you want to take a quick picture of that, write some down that might be in your local area that you can reach out to, which is why I added them to this slide. The ones at the bottom are referral partners. They pretty much just help us with the grant. So they assist us with marketing, as well as social media, getting the word out and directing people to the source, as well as directing people to the application so that you can get signed up. We are also offering in-person application assistance. Abby will talk about that more, but I'm saying that because we have the grant list, the partnership list up, and these will be those who you will reach out to should you need that assistance. That's pretty much all that I have on the source. I'm going to transition it and I'm going to give that over to you, Abby, so that you can discuss more about the grant and how they can get started. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Domini. Am I able to share my screen too, Makiba?
Yeah, you should be able to. Is it allowing you?
Hold on. Let me give it a shot here. Okay. You'd think I'd be quicker at this point in my life. Still, I have too many windows open. I think that's my issues a lot of times. Okay, Zoom, here we go. Let me share. All right, there we go. Okay, everyone, how's that? Everybody can see that pretty well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, so awesome. Okay, so just like Dominique had mentioned, we have this really awesome grant that is going on right now, and we do have specifically $500,000 dedicated to our small business owners owned by veterans. So this is just really wonderful. The total pool, everyone, is about $40 million, okay? And this page here is just a really great breakdown of the, need to know about the grant itself, right? So from the 40 million, the pool is divided between what we consider a $10,000 grant award and then a $20,000 grant award, okay? So 10 million is gonna be dedicated for the $10,000 grants, and then 30 million is gonna be dedicated for the $20 million pool. Now, the way that we determine how much money a business owner will receive, it's not because you asked us nicely. It's going to be based off of your 2019 gross revenue. Okay, so if your business reported on your 2019 taxes that your gross revenue was between 20,000 and 50,000, right, you would be awarded a $10,000 grant. And then if your taxes reflected and I'm going to say this because everybody always wants specifics, right? If your grant is $50,001, equal to that plus, you're going to get a $20,000 grant. Okay, so that's how we determine the different amounts that are awarded. And from here, you can see there's going to be about 1,000 awarded under the $10,000 bucket, and then $1,500 awarded to the $20,000 buckets. Okay, but overall, what's important for you guys is that you should know 500,000 is dedicated specifically for veteran-owned businesses. Okay, and then what we also do with this grant is, give it a breakdown to some businesses that we felt were, pretty heavily impacted industries. Okay, and those industries are your arts and entertainment, childcare and social assistance, hospitality, food and tourism, retail, trade, and transportation and warehousing. Okay, so there's a real big focus on that. Just so you know, if you're in both a veteran and the COVID impacted industries, like it's even a bigger win for you, right? Some really quick eligibility requirements, right? Are you must be currently operating in Cook County, okay? So that's number one, obviously, because that's where the money's coming from, right? There will be a focus on the suburban businesses first, just so everyone knows, but there's still love that's going to be given to our city of Chicago folks too. But a lot of the bigger pool of the money will be dedicated for suburban Cook County. And then also too, your business must have less than 20 full-time employees, okay? Because per the SBA, that's kind of how we've determined what a micro business or small business is. And we really do want to dedicate this money to our smaller business owners that operate in the county, okay? So what does that mean, that 20 full-time businesses? It's really 19 and below, right? So if you put on the application that you have 20 full-time employees, that would make you ineligible for the grant, okay? So just kind of want to break down those numbers for you because people really get to the nitty gritty when they ask me questions about all of this. So I want to put that up front right away. So this grant specifically is for profit businesses. It's not for any of you folks that file a 990 in terms of your taxes. It is a for-profit grant. Again, businesses located in Cook County. And then these are for businesses that not just were negatively impacted because of revenue decreases, right? Like perhaps you had experienced large increases in your cost of goods or expenses. This would also, be considered an impact to your business because of the pandemic, right? So, this question, it's not a question that we want you to prove on the application. It's just a question that we just ask you to attest to. So you basically check a box that says, yes, I was impacted by COVID. And then, this grant is also open to all demographics. So everyone is eligible to apply, and most business industries are eligible to apply, right? We do have some businesses that are ineligible, but those are your typical businesses that, the federal government does not really support or back up, right? Because again, these funds are federally funded. So we want something that, they will be able to stand behind. So, and again, all industries are mostly, included. What else is there? I think that's it in terms of eligibility. Makiba, how much time do we have, Dr. Makiba? Do we still have more time? I don't want to take up your whole.
Yes, so
Okay.
I'm taking a look now, and I would say probably you guys can take it to about 12:30.
12:30.
That'll give us
Okay.
30 minutes
Perfect.
to go into the certification part.
Awesome. Okay.
If you have any questions.
Yeah. So the next piece, everyone, that I do want to share is this is a super easy application. Let me just share too. Application window closes August 25th, 11:59. Okay. We did extend by another week. So please don't be on the website at 11:58 trying to do the application. The only reason I say that is because traffic, right? If everyone jumps on at that time, your application probably won't get through because there is traffic, and it probably will break the internet at that point. So, try to do it early, and also try to come and see us, right? If you need help applying, just come see us. There's a number of pop-ups that are happening. I'm going to be at 2 of them this week. One's going to be in at a Fifth Third branch. And then we're also helping childcare providers too. I can share that information too if you guys are interested, but come and see us if you need help. And this grant in particular, we try to make it super easy in terms of what is required. So this is the required documentation that we are asking everybody to submit with their application. Again, super easy. We just need a valid photo ID, right? And it's only from this list, everybody. Please don't send us your traveler's ID or anything else, right? Just whatever is here. And then we're going to need taxes, federal taxes from 2019 and 2022. Okay. Now, if you applied for an extension, so you don't have your 2022 federal tax return ready to go, what you can do in lieu of that is provide a proof of the extension plus your business license, right? We need that to show that you're actually in Cook County currently, and that you're operating, within the Cook County borders, right? So again, it's 2022 taxes or proof of the extension and your business license, okay? The other thing that we'll need is your W-9, because this revenue or this money will be taxed. So we do need to report that to the IRS. And then also too, we just need you to show that you are in good standing with the state of Illinois, because again, if you're operating in Cook County, you should also be able to show that you can prove that you can operate in the state of Illinois as well too. So you just need to do a screenshot of that or do a print to PDF and submit that documentation to support that proof of good standing. We don't want you to pay for that certification by any means. We just want to see the good standing when you applied. So those are the basics there. And then also to just make sure you're showing the correct NAICS code for your business. I'm seeing a lot of accountants, lazy accountants, just putting like a 99999. on people's taxes. So if you know your NAICS code, please supply that on the application so that you can get credit if you are in one of those businesses that are heavily impacted and are a focus group, right? Because we want you to kind of get out to the front of the line there. Couple other things too. You do want to make sure that, again, your business has made more than 20,000 in 2019 and your first date of sale was before 2020. Okay, because again, this isn't really for startups. It's really more to replace money that established business owners may have lost or incurred due to the pandemic. So that's mostly it. Dominique, anything else you think I should add in here? You are going to attest to a lot of this information here, to be true and authentic, meaning you are a for-profit business, you made your first sale, you are the owner of the business, so forth and so on. If you have more than one business, everyone, that operates in Cook County, you can apply for all of those businesses, but only one of the businesses would be awarded the funds. Okay, so only one grant per business owner is kind of how I've been phrasing it. I know I've got 4 minutes left, but I do want to leave some time for Q&A. And also too, here is information too for some daily or some pop-ups, our virtual help desk information if you want to email Cook County about the grant too. So take a picture of this if you'd like as well. But again, we are out there trying to help everybody get these applications and only complete applications, right? So if you miss any one of those pieces of documentation, it's not necessarily that you'll be deemed ineligible, but if we have a significant amount of applications in the queue, we may not be able to get back to you to do follow-up. So I'm telling everybody, just send in all of your documents the one try, make sure they're clear, easily, readable or legible. Your pictures are clear, like whatever you think would kind of hinder a reviewer from looking at your application, either fix it or tell us, what the problem was, because there is a box in there that you can say like, I had issues with this, that, or the other, blah, blah, blah. I think it's like question 31 or something. That's how well I know the application. I feel like I already know the numbers.
I do.
Oh, was there a question?
You're going up here.
Oh, okay, maybe not. All right. That's really, that's the quick summary of this. Again, got 3 minutes for questions. Does anybody have any questions out there at all? Would
Really
love
quick,
to
the only thing
oh.
I will add, Abby, please gather all of your information with you before you do this application.
Oh, yes.
If application does not have the ability to save, you will not have the ability to go back. You will not be able to email the help desk and ask us to add on any documents that you realize that you forgot to add to the application process once you hit submit. This is why we've set up so many in-person and virtual opportunities for you all to receive help, because we want to make sure that you get it right the first time. Again, gather all of the information. It's not that much. I think it's only 5 documents that you need. If it's anything additional, as Abby stated, put it in the box, but that's in addition to. We will not be able to upload or add anything to your application once you hit submit. You will unfortunately have to redo that whole application all over again and upload those documents. And we are really trying to prevent anyone from having to do this more than once. And also, if you are interested in applying for the Cook County 2023 Source Grant, I did drop that email link in the chat. It is Cook County Small Biz, spelled biz.org/source grant. Or you can just go to the Cook County Small Biz website, click on the link that actually says 2023 Source Grant. You can access it from there. You can go to our events tab on both of the websites so that you can find out any in-person events that we may have. And Abby, I see a few hands up. If you would like to go forth, I know we got to go quick.
And so Yvonne, I know Yvonne had asked a question in the chat too, directly to me. So state of Illinois, yes, you may not necessarily have a business license. So your business license is only required, everyone, right, if you do not have your 2022 taxes, right? So don't confuse that number 3 there, right? It's 2022 taxes or proof of tax extension and business license. So you're only going to turn in the tax extension and the business license if you do not have your 2022 taxes. So hopefully that answered that question, Yvonne, but I do see your hand is up. So did you want to ask a different question? Maybe?
Yes, I'm typing it now.
Oh, okay. Did you just want to ask it?
Yes, I will. The taxes are in, they are, there is an extension on them, so there's neither the taxes nor the business license. I do have an email from the state confirming what I just put in there, which was you don't have a license otherwise. I do have the, of course, the good standing information, which I did see was not something that we could issue. So I'm just going to have to get those 2022 taxes done ASAP.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. And then Deshaun, did you want to go next?
Yes, how you doing today? I think you pretty much answered my question because I actually just got my business established this year and registered in SAMS and everything. But I think you answered the question about just having a business license present if we don't have the tax documents.
Correct. Yeah. Business license and tax extension. So, but your business, when did you start the business?
It's been about a year now, but I've really been focusing on just trying to prime things. I'm part of the SDVOB program, but I've been like looking for partnerships and things like that. So that's where I'm pretty much at with everything. It's like pretty fresh.
Okay. So you will have to, the business should have had their first sale before 2020. So did you have
Okay,
any revenue?
no, so I probably won't be able to be eligible for it because I haven't.
Correct. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, you want to have made sure that you had sales in 2019, reported 2019 federal tax,
Okay,
filed a federal tax return in 2019.
but I still can use you guys for different resources outside of this, right? Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
come check this out.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So we are going to hold off on any more questions until after. We will have a little bit of time after we get finished with the rest of the webinar to talk about anything related to the grant. Abby and Dominique will still be on. So we will get back to any other questions that we have at that time. What I want to do now is I would like to kind of segue into our business certification portion of this. Again, my name is Dr. Makiba Butler. I am the certification, I'm sorry, no, I'm not. I am the Deputy Director of Strategic Initiatives with the Office of Contract Compliance, Cook County. And so I have several colleagues here. I'm sorry, what is wrong with me? I am just tongue-tied right now. Desiree Atkins, who is our Deputy Director of Certification. We have Janetta Cardine, who is our Deputy Director of Compliance. We have Dr. D. Love, who is the Director of the Department of Veteran Affairs for Cook County. We also have Kevin, I'm gonna mess up your name, so I'm just gonna say Kevin B. right now, who is Director of Department of Veteran Affairs with the City of Chicago. And then we also have Rosalind Putnam, who is with the Small Business Administration. She's going to talk a little bit about federal certifications. So as I mentioned before we got started, we probably will go over maybe about 5 minutes. If you do have to drop off, feel free to do so. This is recorded and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. But I do want to make sure that we get in all of the information that we wanted to get in for this. So let's go ahead and kind of transition over into that. So Cook County has a desire and a plan that we're creating to increase veteran certifications And we want to make sure that we inform our veteran business community and also our small business community on that plan to really increase the numbers. So I want to talk to Deputy Director Desiree Atkins, who is our deputy for certification, to kind of shed a little bit of light on there, shed a little bit of light on that, talk about very briefly what our plan is, or not even really what the plan is, but why there is a need to increase our certification, our vendor certification pool with more veteran-owned businesses. So Desiree, you can go ahead and share a little bit about that.
Hi, yeah, thank you, Dr. Butler. So yes, we've had a veteran and service-disabled veteran business sort of enterprise program for quite a few years. And prior to me coming to this great organization and many others, it started back several years ago. However, the knowledge of the program or the participation within the program has not been as robust as what we would like to have it be. And so part of our 2023-2024 plan is to have a dedicated, intentional revamp of the program, and through rebranding, letting businesses and owners know, those that are just starting out and those that have been in business for quite some time. And part of that is for access to contracting opportunities municipally, right? So and how we do that is that we've had it as a part of our MBE WBE programs, where we actually vet out firms to identify those that are majority owned, ran, controlled by veterans throughout the state of Illinois. So it's not even as our local general program with the MBE WBE, where it is a marketplace of 6 counties. We're looking for veteran-owned businesses that are disabled veteran-owned businesses who are throughout the entire state of Illinois. This way, creating a wider pool, we hope to engage a grander variety of industry that has the ability to participate within the contracts. Why is this so important? Is because right now, and for some years, Cook County has had an aspirational goal of 3% to be on contracts, but we have been unable to even meet that goal due to the pool of certified firms being available and able and willing to participate. And so for us, it starts at that certification vetting, so that our veteran-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses can be a part of a directory that primes look at, that private residents look to, that agencies look at, to identify who can potentially participate within these contracts. And in order to increase the amount of representation and in order to increase the goal, 3%, is quite small to lots of folks who have, brought their concerns to us. But if we're not even able to meet the 3%, how can we increase the goal beyond 3 to 5 to 10, which is what is being asked for? So for that, we said, okay, hey, we need to have some direction, some guided direction out here to our communities and our stakeholders that can truly benefit. Now, is our certification process robust? It absolutely is. The great thing is that you don't have to start and finish it in one fatal swoop. You have 90 days. In order for that application to sit out there, where you can take your time, you can gather your documents. It lets you know what percentage of completion that you have, and it's all electronic. So then this makes it easier for safekeeping. It makes it easier for submittal. It makes it easier for us for review. And then when you have opportunities such as this grant, you're in position to apply because you already have those documents gathered in a safe spot. But then also you can go and where they are seeking veteran owned businesses that are certified, then you have another door, entryway into those opportunities as well, whether it be contracting, where it be loans, where it be grants. You have these opportunities in order when you start with certification through Cook County.
Thank you, Desiree. So I'm gonna put you right now, I'm gonna table you for a minute because I'm gonna eventually come back to you to kind of highlight a little bit more information on the certification process. And I don't know if there's anything that you might want to share with your screen. You don't necessarily have to, but if there's anything that you wanted to show, feel free as well. But I wanted to scoot over to our Department of Veteran Affairs. So we do have the Cook County Department of Veteran Affairs. We have the director of that, which is Major Retired D. Love. We have her, and we also have Kevin B., who is the director of the City of Chicago Department of Veteran Affairs. So I wanted to kind of segue over to them, transition over to them and ask them, what is the role, what is the function of the Department of Veteran Affairs? How does it relate to the veteran business? Like what type of resources, what type of support does your department offer to? And the reason that I have both the city and the county talking about this is Deputy Desiree Atkins will talk a little bit about the reciprocity agreement that we have with the City of Chicago. So that's the reason why I have both of these agencies here representing and talking interchangeably with one another. But I kind of want to see if you all would mind sharing a little bit about your department and how you help with our veterans in their day-to-day business affairs or anything else that they may need.
Yes, I'll go ahead. I'll get the party started and I'll pass it over to Kevin. So for the Cook County Department of Veteran Affairs, as we mentioned earlier with the SOURCE grant and the $500,000 that's available for our veterans this year, that $500,000 came directly from the Cook County Department of Veteran Affairs. So at any opportunity where federal funding or grants that need to be applied through a government agency is available for our veterans, our veteran communities, or other entities that service veterans. Our department is pretty much like that lead and that bridge between the federal VA and our local VA that can apply for and distribute those grant monies. Additionally, we work with currently right now, we have agreements with 22, soon to be an additional like 30 organizations that are actual county partners. With those county partners, we work with a couple of agencies that have just strictly resources for our veteran-owned businesses. Last year, we were able to interface with Syracuse University and their veteran and military family business entrepreneurship program, also with the University of Chicago as well. So in addition to bringing in federal funding for our veteran-owned businesses and other veteran entities here within the county, we are a liaison to connect our veteran-owned businesses and other entities with those targeted resources and organizations that can provide our veteran-owned businesses any type of services and support that they may need. So I'll pass it over to Kevin.
Yeah, thank you for that. So very similar, our department here in the Mayor's Office of Veteran Affairs, we really look to provide resource navigation, right? So if a veteran's calling us, asking for assistance, including the family, it doesn't have to specifically be the veteran. We're also looking to identify policy recommendations. What can we improve with the City of Chicago to help our veteran community? Also working with each one of our departments, such as Department of Procurement, which handles these veteran owned business certifications. So how can our office partner with them, including Cook County, and increase that outreach? So Desiree, you really hit it on the head. We need to increase the number of our veteran-owned businesses here within the City of Chicago as well as Cook County. But how do we do that, right? So that's why we're looking to partner to ensure that we get the message out there. But I also want to challenge our veteran community, right? We cannot do this alone. This should be kind of a co-governance, right? Working hand in hand. So if you are a veteran-owned business and you do have the certification, then how can you help another veteran-owned business with their process, right? How can you help them get certified? So I really want to challenge our veteran community to, identify another veteran that might be going through the process and help them out out to get this certification. Of course, we're all here to provide assistance, but that peer-to-peer support is equally as important as leaning on our city and the city of Chicago and Cook County. So that's a little bit about what we do. Any questions, please let me know. I'm sure I miss other things, but that's kind of the highlight.
That's okay. Thank you, Kevin. That was really helpful. There are a couple of things that I want to say. So the first thing I want to correct, and I apologize for this. My mind is on MBE, WBE, and I just kind of like grandfathered in VBE, but apparently the reciprocity, and Desiree can talk about this more if needed, but the reciprocity agreement that the county has with the city does not include veteran business enterprises. It includes the minority business enterprises and the women business enterprises. And so I wanted to fix that because I did preface that whole conversation with the Department of Veteran Affairs with that nice little carrot perk hanging there in front of your face. But that in case that in fact is not the case. But what I want to do before I turn it back over to Desiree, I wanted to bring Janetta Cardine in because she is a Deputy Director of Compliance. And I know Desiree had talked a little bit about the aspirational goal that we do have for veterans. Janetta, can you talk a little bit about why it's important and kind of linking it to what we talked about with the aspirational goal, but can you talk a little bit about that and why it's really important for us to get these veteran businesses? And another thing I want Desiree to think about is one of the things that we've heard, and me and Major Love have talked about this on occasion many times, is that the common thread in the veteran community with certifications is the cumbersome requirement that it is to actually apply for these. It's a thought process within the veteran community that the application is too hard, or the application is too long, or the application is not user-friendly, or whatever the case may be. So we want to talk about that a little bit also, because I would be remiss if I brought all of the veterans together and did not touch on that a little bit. But Janetta, can you share a little bit about this aspirational goal? And again, just helping our attendees to really understand why it's important for them and why we really want to hone in on this need to increase our veteran pool.
Absolutely. And so like Dr. Butler said, my name is Janetta Cardine. I am the Deputy Director in the Office of Contract Compliance. I oversee the compliance division. I oversee all of the contracts for Cook County, the government side, as well as the 2 hospitals. And one of the things that the county currently has is the 3% aspirational goal that applies to contracts where a veteran could potentially participate. Now, I want to also preface this by saying, now, while the VBE certification is not reciprocal for Cook County as it relates to the city of Chicago, if you currently hold a VBE certification with the city of Chicago, and I will let Deputy Atkins, she'll go into it further. I want to also mention that if you are a veteran and you can possibly be a minority, if you could be the MBE or the WBE, that would also work in your favor as well. However, we do want to increase our veteran pool because we've not been able to have enough veterans on contracts. And the reasoning is because we don't have the pool of veterans in this space, which is why the 3% is so low. We have been asked to increase our pool from 3% to 10%. There have been some conversations, there have been some requests, there have been some veterans who have looked to Cook County to make the incentive a little more enticing. And we are willing to do that. However, we do need the pool of veterans to show that this is a possibility. And right now, we don't have enough veterans in our VBE directory. And if we do have those veterans in the VBE directory, they are either not, they don't have the capacity to participate on some of these contracts, nor are they willing. And so this is a necessary conversation for the contract compliance community, for primes to see that you all are willing to participate on some of these contracts. As our counterpart over at the city of Chicago stated, and I can't think of his name at the moment, he is correct. We need your help. We can't do this without you. If you all are wanting us to increase the pool from 3% to 10%, Kevin, thank you. From 3% to 10%, we need you all to help us to do that. We need to be able to shout to the highest mountain that it is needed and necessary. And we need to be able to show the numbers to prove that the 3% does not work. We need the 10%. But in order for us to do that, we need the veterans to show us that they are willing to be in the directory, willing to be the businesses that we reach to, that the primes look to participate on a lot of these contracts.
Thank you, Janetta. I appreciate that. That's really, really powerful. And I think it's probably one of the best messages we can put out there. Because I think in addition to what we've heard in the veteran space with the application and the certification requirements and all of that, another conversation that's being had is that there's no work for veterans, right? There's no opportunities for veterans, and that's just simply not the case. There are opportunities, but when we don't have you, then those opportunities can't be filled.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's
Yeah.
correct. That's true. The opportunities are absolutely there. The conversation of educating them and putting them in the right spaces, putting them in front of the right primes, the opportunities are absolutely there. It is the work that the veterans need to do to make themselves visible, to make themselves available, to make themselves positioned the right way in order to participate on these contracts.
Okay, thank you. So we've talked a little bit about how certification benefits the veteran business. I'm going to give it back to Desiree in 1 minute, but I want to bring in Rosalind Putnam. She is with the Small Business Administration. And so because we are in the business of fully empowering our veteran business owners to get everything that is available to them, we're not just talking about Cook County certifications or City of Chicago certifications right now. We also want to make you aware of the federal certification. I know Rosalind and her staff, she has other staff members who are a little bit more versed on this. They weren't available to be with us today. So as the true leader that she is, she made herself available to come over and speak on behalf. But Rosalind, I just wanted to bring you in a little bit and if you can possibly share a little bit about what the SBA has to offer. I know there are a couple of different certifications from the federal sense that benefit our veteran business owners as well. So if you can you share a little bit about that?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Do you need me to start my video, Makiva, or I can just talk?
It's up to you. If you have to, no, I'm sorry. You don't have to share. You don't have to turn on your video. You're fine.
Okay, great. So as everyone has been saying, Cook County, the city, most of us have that 3% goal. That's kind of across the board. And the federal government aims to award at least 3% of all federal contracting dollars to service disabled veteran-owned small businesses each year. Competition is limited for certain federal contracting opportunities to businesses that participate in the SDVOSB program. Now, there are contracts that are set aside on a sole source basis and competitive basis for a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. In November of 2022, under NDAA, we were actually told we were going to get certification transferred over to us for the verification and evaluation. So firms previously that were verified by the VA Center for verification and evaluation as of January 1st, 2023, was automatically granted certification by SBA, which again, we took over officially as of January 1, 2023. And so those firms were actually granted a 1-year extension. However, new applicants to certify by SBA, they have to do it by January 1, certified after January 1, will receive a standard 3-year certification period. Now, this certification, as I mentioned, was previously handled by the VA. So SBA has acquired that. But their contract set aside. Now, you can self-certify yourself as a small business, as a veteran-owned small business. However, the SDVOSB is where you mostly find your contracts that are more so advertised. There's very few under the VOSB, but the Services Able VOSB has that, have that preference, if you will. But now, if you're interested in doing business on the federal side, you have to register for this particular veterans program at veterans.certify.sba.gov. And everything is there for you. You have to register via that portal. Under that portal, you have access to your checklist and your pre-application guide. Check your federal eligibility, your request information, create your account, log in and proceed with the application. So we have a frequent asked question fact sheet as well. So if you go to sba.gov, federal contracting, and then hyperlink on to veteran certification, you can find all the information you need surrounding our veteran small business, veteran. I tell you, these acronyms drive me crazy sometimes. Services Able Veteran-Owned Small Business Program. Me, myself, as McKeever said, I actually manage the 8A Business Development Program. But since we've acquired this new certification under the VA, from the VA, it actually is a headquarters, a national program. But anytime there's a national program, your district offices are going to be involved in some type of way. So any questions that you have, you can actually reach out to our office. But primarily, this is handled by our headquarters office, the actual certification itself for the application it is. So that's kind of an overview quickly, Dr. McKeever. I know you want to leave some time for questions. I don't know if you have something you want to ask me related to this or.
Yeah, so the only thing, I'm glad that so just for clarity for our attendees, CVE, when she said used to be handled by the VA, that was what you would have to go through if you wanted to do business with the Veterans Administration.
Correct.
And that was something, there was a time where we had individuals like at the WBDC, I know when I was there, we had to go through this class to be able to help guide the business to get a CVE certification, if you will, for lack of a better word. Now it sounds like you're saying that particular CVE certificate is now being handled through the SBA.
That's correct.
Okay, so Rosalind, when you get a chance, if you can put that website that you were talking about for them to go to in the chat, that will be great. The other thing that I know that we have at least one person on here because she asked me about it, the 8AA program, the 8A program. Really quick, is that still a 9-year program? It's not a certification, it's a program.
It's an 8A business development program, correct?
Right, okay.
But it is considered a certification as well. But yeah, okay. You're correct. It is a 9-year term program. One time, 9 years. That's correct.
Okay. And then how can they get more information about that? If we have any businesses on here who are interested in that particular program, can you put your information in the chat for them as well?
I can.
Okay.
And I will.
Thank you so much. Welcome. I know that was a quick overview, but the SBA is so consuming and so involved in so many different ways that we would need way more than 10 minutes to be able to get you all to talk, learn more about them. So I just wanted her to come and give you all a little bit of insight in that. I'm going to tell you before we close some quarterly workshops that we have planned and a veteran summit that we are actually planning for you all. So we will pull in the SBA to be a little bit more detailed with the information that they give you. So never fear, this is not the end all to be all. The last thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to turn it back over to Desiree, because Desiree, I didn't know if you wanted to just briefly talk about reciprocity. I know it's not veteran specific, but what we do have are veterans who are minorities and veterans who are women. And so perhaps you can just talk briefly about the reciprocity agreement and what that means, how it plays in with our veteran businesses. Women-owned businesses, veteran minority-owned businesses, so on and so forth.
Sure. So actually, there are three quick topics that I want to go over. I'll start with the reciprocity. So there is a reciprocity agreement that the city of Chicago and Cook County currently has. We are in the process of updating that agreement. However, that agreement allows for a firm that is a minority or a woman-owned business that can show evidence and support that it is owned, controlled, managed in the codes for which they seek, independently of a non-minority or woman, that if they receive a certification with Cook County, that Cook County certification may be used for participation within on contracts with the city of Chicago. So a firm that is certified with Cook County can potentially be considered added to a primes bid for a contract with City of Chicago, and vice versa. If a firm, a minority or a woman-owned business is certified with the City of Chicago, that firm can potentially be listed as a sub on a contract with Cook County. This also works if there are any type of targeted market contracting opportunities where you can operate as a minority or a woman on and be a prime on a small dollar amount contract. So this also opens up opportunities for minorities and women who happen to be veteran, but underneath the reciprocity of an M and a W, because you can apply for as many certifications for which you feel that you qualify. So if you are Hispanic and a female and a veteran and was disabled, considered disabled while on duty, then you can apply for the WBE, a MBE, a VBE, and a SDVBE with Cook County. And with your M and W with Cook County, you can potentially be on contracts for your W or your MBE status with the city of Chicago. That's the easiest way to kind of understand that. You may ask, well, why is VBE or SDVBE not included in reciprocity? There is some areas within each program by each agency that are not similar enough to provide the provision of reciprocity. For example, the city of Chicago, for their VBE program, you must be still within your business within the 6 counties of Cook, Kane, DuPage, Will, McHenry, and Lake counties. For Cook County, it's the entire state of Illinois. So that's one difference, but that's a really big difference in the eyes of the two agencies. So at the moment, we are still operating underneath the M and the W with regard to reciprocity. But that's still great news, because you still have opportunities at being able to capture part of goals that are set at 25, 24, and 10% of a contract. When it comes to the VBE, and we talked about the 3% aspirational goal, and I want to clarify this, because what does that mean? 3%, that's nothing. Well, it's nothing if it's at 0 when you have not been on contract. But if it's $1 million contract, 3% is $30,000. Are you willing to leave that on the table? And how many times? That's the question that I would ask. So if there's a driving force for you, is your access to an additional check, then absolutely, please seek out the VBE certification. How do you get certified? So with regard to where you start your application, because it's electronic, it's all online, and we'll drop this in the chat, but you will go to cookcounty.diversitycompliance.com. That's cookcounty.diversitycompliance.com. The question was about, or the statement was made about how robust the application process is, how in-depth, that it is time consuming. It's a lot of work. It is bothersome. And all of those adjectives may be correct. But here's the thing. In the big scheme of things, we are talking about local, we're talking about dollars. We're talking about government funding. We're talking about contracts that are being doled out, and they're doled out, not in, pennies, but they're doled out in thousands and millions of dollars. And so for that, it is a program and then we're responsible to our communities. So there is a program that is designed in order to actually vet. So we don't self-certify for this program because we have to be able to identify those firms that are available, willing, and able to participate underneath the NAICS codes that they have requested certification under. And in addition to that, we have to be able to be responsible and then responsive to understanding ownership and business structure. And there's a lot that goes into that, and being able to report on this to stakeholders that go beyond internal, but also external stakeholders as to who's on contracts, who knows what they're doing. You will be amazed at the amount of individuals or other businesses that will say that another firm is not performing, that they are actually a pass-through, and that we have to audit after we have already done a certification, even if we don't necessarily believe, but we have to prove it. And the IG, the Inspector General's office, state's attorneys, different individuals, even the media will get involved. So in the course of why is all this so important is not just for the stakeholders to know, but it's also for the integrity of the program. Because is it fair for someone to have a business, but really not be running the business, or really not be knowledgeable in the business, to where they get on a contract and then you don't, who you actually are managing and controlling your business, versus a non-eligible person actually running your business for you. And so these are the things that we have to be able to support in evidence, and we do this with documents. You also have to be a small business, and a small business allows for a lot of wiggle room. We go according to the SBA guidelines, but this year, due to the disparity study, we now do 1.5 times that, and averaged over 7 years. So in an area like construction, it can go up to $40 million in gross receipts annually, but that's still considered a small business. A consulting firm may be 7.5 million. That's still considered a small business. So meeting a small business criteria has a big wiggle room, and is based upon the industry that you're in. The other thing is that you have to be economically disadvantaged. So being economically disadvantaged means that personally, is your personal net worth under $2.68 million? You may think, oh, wow, that's huge, but we have vendors that go beyond that. So we're not looking to prevent small businesses and those that have experienced economic disadvantages, but we're trying to actually help those that fit within the certain criteria within that, and that can prove it, can evidence it to us, so that we can have the data to back it up if and when questioned. Also, if there's a social criteria that has to be met. Are you Native American, Hispanic, African American, which means Black with ancestry from Africa? Are you, what do you have? And then that also extends to veterans, service disabled veterans. So in those cases, we're looking to make sure that the ownership, whatever that ownership composition is, if it is 51% or more owned, control, managed with expertise, operations, and administrative responsibilities within the company. And that does require different sets of information from different, and a lot of it, because we're asking for 7 years now of tax returns. So you have to package that together. Or if it's with being able to provide copies of passport or a birth certificate or ID. These things are so that we can have the evidence to back up the statements that are being presented. And so those just a small list, but our actual full list is listed on our website. And actually, once you start an application, you can click the option to have access to all the documents that you will have to gather. So we provide it in a few different areas for your resource. And I see there's 2 questions, 3.
Yeah, so Derek, if you have a question, you can go ahead and come off mute.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Yeah. So my question is, so I actually reached out to the county and the city a couple years ago when I started about a business license for a marketing agency. So I was told that I don't need one specifically for this services. So I know for the Source grant, I did file an extension for 2022, but I know the other requirement with the extension was a business license. So how would I satisfy that requirement?
You know what? I think I want to say that I know Abby had to jump off for another meeting and Dominique jumped off. So what I'm going to have you do, Derek, if you can send me, I'm going to put my email address here. If you can send me an email with your question, I'll shoot it over to Dominique with the Source grant, and then we'll get an answer for you. I'll do it today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Crystal, you have a question? Go ahead and come off mute.
I think that Ms. Cardine said that the grant, the reciprocity, I'm certified as a VBE, MBE, and WBE through the city of Chicago. I think she said it was not reciprocal for VA. I wasn't sure. She said it.
Yes, you are correct. So your MBE and WBE is, your VBE for your veteran is not. So you would have to apply to each agency separately for VBE. And since you are certified with the city of Chicago for your VBE certification, and the documents, you will provide pretty much the same documents plus the additional year. So let's say if you got certified, just a year ago, then it'll be those documents plus this year's. Like, let's say, for instance, tax returns that you would have filed for this year, or your extension notice for this year. And there's no fee for VBE or service disabled veteran certification.
Okay. And then, okay, but what was the site to go to for that? Was that through the SBA now?
No, so that's through Cook County site. And what you would do is you would go to cookcounty.diversitycompliance.com.
Okay.
Now, another way, and I just tell folks this because it's just easier than remembering, you don't have to worry about typos, that you can always Google. Google's your friend, and you can search the MBE certification for Cook County, MBE program certification, Cook County, and literally it'll come up. I've tried it a few times just to make sure before I'm telling folks, but it'll of course come up with some options, but one of the options and one of the first 2 will actually be one of 2 websites for our office. One is our direct website page, and the other is the system in which we use for data, which is where you would eventually go for applying. Both of those sites direct you to the applying for certification.
Okay.
But the website address that I gave you is direct.
And that's for Cook County, but for the VA.
For VBE, that's for VBE certification, cookcounty.diversitycompliance.com.
For Cook
And
County.
for the SBA, Crystal, Rosalind put it in the chat.
Okay, so and that then would be VA, which was the SBA previously.
Correct.
So the SBA now is doing what the VA was doing for certification.
Correct. That's the CVE certificate.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. The other question, I more of a comment. I'm a transportation company. And I've gone after things that I think were a little too big for me, the CATCO contract for O'Hare Airport. But I was really hoping to be a sub or a mentor protege program. And that was just never put on the table. Because obviously to do all of the transportation at O'Hare Airport, I'm not big enough to do yet. But that was never kind of put out. And I've seen that a couple of times where I've gone after things that are too big for where we are right now, but we can't scale if we don't get a piece of it. That 3% would have really helped us to kind of get our feet in the door, learn it, and maybe grow to scale.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so I will tell you in terms of mentor protege, that's one of the things that the county, we're currently working on mentor protege. Obviously, airport, that's not county, that would be city of Chicago. Is it ACDBE or DB? What is it? ACDBE?
ACD, yeah.
ACDBE.
ACDBE certification. So that's city of Chicago side. I think they do have a mentor protege program. Be honest with you, I don't know exactly what the stipulations of their mentor protege program is. I do agree with you that it does help to be able to get those opportunities, which is why we're really trying to bring more attention to the city and the county are working together to try to bring more attention to veterans and their certifications and their positioning. So we are working together to try to make that a little bit more, allow that to have a little bit more presence.
And if I could add to that, and the idea of subbing on the contract for something like that, if it's specific to transportation, it may be a little bit more difficult because it's harder to it may be more difficult to unbundle that because it's so specific. However, I would suggest that you consider joint venturing, it coming in as a prime with others that are small like yourself in transportation and coming together for the purpose of submitting a bid on a contract, creating a company with 2 or more of you that are in transportation where you can divide that up amongst yourselves instead of always going in as a sub. Create a prime situation by bringing folks that are in transportation like yourself together to go after the contract.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Dee. All right, you all. So we have we are like way over time, but I do want to add, there's 2 more questions that I see hands raised. So Ben, you can go ahead and come off, and when Ben is finished, Elizabeth can go ahead and ask her question. And then if there are any other questions, you all can definitely email me. My email address is in there. And Major D dropped her email address in there as well if you have any questions on the Veteran Administration side, Department of Veteran side for the county. And then Kevin, I believe he may have put his in the chat as well. So go ahead, Ben.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for these updates. Real quick, I am a veteran establishing a company. I'm the CEO, except the location or the address associated with the company is in Texas. I do live in Illinois, somewhere around Edwardsville. And I'm just trying to get some help to certify my company as a VOSB. I know we have overstretched the time this afternoon. Can you give me a POC, somebody to lean on to use as a mentor to help me go through the certification program? I am willing to take an appointment and drive to that person's office to begin to receive such mentorship to be able to go through the certification program.
So Ben, you mentioned VOSB? Are you interested in the federal certification, which is VOSB, or were you specifically talking about county or city?
The federal first. I would want to do the federal first.
The federal. Okay, so that would be Rosalind. So if you look in the chat, Rosalind, I think Rosalind's still on here. Rosalind, should he just? I'm looking. Oh, veterans.certified SBA.
No, that's if he's. I think that he probably needs to work with a PTAC. I mean, now it's the Apex Accelerated. Right. He may need to work with them because he's looking for someone, as he said, they're not actually mentors, but he's looking kind of for someone
Some
to
assistant.
more so work one-on-one with him.
Yeah, okay,
I think that may be a better fit for what he's trying to do.
okay. All right, so I'm
Are
gonna
you
put
gonna
in the
put
chat
that
for
in?
you, Ben. Yeah, can you put that in for me, Roz?
And
Um,
what type of industry are you in, Ben?
We want to go the general healthcare, the data analytics, and stuff like that.
So you're doing mostly consulting,
Absolutely.
okay, and potentially IT?
Yes.
Okay, so that depends sometimes on which type of assist agency or P-TECH that you may connect with. But certainly the information that's being dropped into the chat can assist because there are certain agencies that assist based on industry and others that may do just an overall assistance.
Okay, so
So-
you dropped the stuff right in the chat.
we're doing it now.
Okay.
So Dr. Butler, with him being in the Evans, I think he said Evansville area, is that like?
No,
southern?
Edwardsville.
Edwardsville, is that like,
Oh,
is that more southern part of Illinois, I think? Or is it not? Because I'm not exactly sure whether it is.
It's
because
just
he-
around SIUE.
Oh, he
Okay.
needs
It's
to
near
be,
Edwardsville.
It's near St. Louis. It's
So
30 minutes from
Yes,
St.
around
Louis.
St.
Okay.
Louis, yes.
okay, so he needs to be
Oh,
connected.
I have
with-
somebody I can put him in touch with.
Okay,
It is I think it's yeah. So hey, Ben, send me an email. My email is in the chat, makiba.butler@cookcounty. You'll see it in
Okay.
the chat. Can you send me an email? I have somebody to put you in touch with.
okay.
All right, I will find that email in the chat.
Okay. It's MAKE
Hold 1 second, ma'am. MAKE
BA
BA.
Butler BUTLER
Okay.
at cookcountyil.gov.
Okay.
Thank
That
you.
works.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Mhm.
Okay, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Okay, I'm trying to get off the mute.
Okay.
The question is, for businesses for the tax returns for 2019, if the business shows a increase in 2022, would the business be eligible? It did
For the
not.
source grant?
Yes.
So do me a favor and send me an email and I will present your question to the young ladies who was on here. They both had to drop off. And I'll get you an answer for that today.
Okay.
All right, great. And I'm looking, I think Jack said, does the state of Illinois certification as a VOSB count for what, Jack? Does it count for which? Which are you asking? Okay, so if he's gonna put that in there, I'll see if he adds anything else. The only thing that I wanted to end with you all, thank you for those who were able to stay on. We are planning to do some quarterly workshops within Cook County, partnering with our Cook County Department of Veteran Affairs, as well as City of Chicago Department of Veteran Affairs. So be on the lookout for that. I will make sure that if you haven't liked our Eventbrite, when you did register for this, please make sure that you like the Cook County Eventbrite page, because that's where we have all of our events posted for registration. And so make sure that you are there. Also, I have your email address, so you probably are already on our email if you received an email from us, but you may have also received an email from either one of the DVAs. But just stay in touch with us, because we will have some more quarterly workshops specifically identified for veteran business owners to help you kind of position yourself and get a little bit more akin to what we're wanting to do here at the county for veteran-owned businesses. Also, we are planning to hold a veteran summit We're looking at doing that towards the end of the year. And that's going to be where we focus in on some key topics, and we're going to have some speakers to be able to provide you with some more practical information to help move you in the right direction. So be on the lookout for that information as well as we roll it out once we're finished planning it out with the dates and everything. So just want you all to know that increasing our veteran certification pool and also providing additional resources and opportunities for you all to grow in your business is one of our top priorities here. And so we do intend on making sure that that's something that we grow. And we just want you to know that you're at the top of our minds, and we are looking forward to helping you position your business in a better way for government contracting. So that's all I have. We have gone over almost 30 minutes, but hey, it is what it is. We had a lot of information that we wanted to share with you all. Thank you so much for that. To all of my colleagues who helped me pull this off, thank you again for all of your assistance. If you have any other questions, my email is in the chat, makiba.butler@cookcountyil.gov. Feel free to send me an email and I will help you in the best way that I can. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
Is Desiree Atkins' email in there at all?
Desiree, is your email in there? She might have jumped off. Her email is desiree.atkins@cookcountyil.gov.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And thanks for putting this on. This was awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
We
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And I will have this uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. So I will send an email out to that with that information to all of you that register.
Okay, great. Have a great day.
You too.